Hello and welcome. It's Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter here. I'm smiling to myself because this is the second time I've recorded this. And I'm going to show you what happened and why I deleted the beginning of it. Now I'm getting used to editing, so bear with me. I want to talk to you today about the processes I went through and the decisions I made in drawing and colouring a portrait of David Bowie. Now, if you go back and see the one that I did of Boy George, I did that in Prismacolor pencils, which are an American company who produce wax-based pencils. Faber-Castell are a German company, and these pencils are oil-based. Now, because of my grip and spasm issues, you will never see me painting or doing anything with oils. Oil-based paints are just not going to be Maggie's bag, if you like. And I certainly don't have the time or the space for anything that's oil-based to dry where I live. So that's not going to happen. So the next best option for me is using a wax-based pencil. And I can grip them for a short time. I probably take longer to do a portrait than most people would because I have to give up when my hand starts hurting. And that's after not very long, to be honest. Anyway, the processes for doing this are the same. I did the drawing from a Google image that I found of him, and I tested it with other people and said, who's that? And it was a photograph I found that you could instantly recognise him from the stance and the way that he holds the microphone. Now, he changed his image greatly over the years, and I could have painted him in many different stances. I didn't want to do Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars or Let's Dance or something like that. But I was drawn to the colour of the suit in this one, and I was itching to have a go. So come with me and see what you think. There is an error in this when I've edited it because I got the orientation of the camera wrong, but I've left it in so it'll give you a little bit of a giggle. Join me in a minute. And just stroke them. They're beautiful. Come with me and I'll show you. I opted for a tin because I can keep them safe in there. There's 3 layers. And inside the tin, look how gorgeous the actual tin is. Inside the tin, there's the leaflet about them. And I got them and I just wanted to stroke them all. This is the top of 3 layers and they're beautiful. I have to say they're beautiful. The first thing that I did with them is I used my, this is a swordfish pencil sharpener, and I sharpened them to a really sharp point. And as you can see, they are sharp points without you losing too much of the pencil. I was pleased with that. The next thing I did was swatched everything. Now, similar to the Prismacolor, if you haven't seen that Boy George, go back and watch it because I've talked a little bit about Prismacolor on that one. This in the same way that Prismacolor has some metallics, this has silver, gold and copper, and they actually look at the shine on them. You can see the shine. You wouldn't need a jelly pen with that, really. Having said that, I'm going to critique it once it's actually on paper. The one thing I was pleased with in this, look, Payne's Grey. There are 6 cool greys and 6 warm greys in this set, and that's a lot of greys for me. Now, I was used to doing botanical illustrations with watercolours years ago, so I'm familiar with using Payne's Grey for shadow work, and I was really pleased with that. For the drawing then, this is on Daler Rowney smooth cartridge paper. I will be doing a test to see whether this paper or Winsor & Newton Bristol paper, extra smooth is going to be better for doing this type of drawing, because I'm not too happy with some of the things on this one, and I'm going to talk you through that. For the drawing then of this one, I've used the same principle that I did with Boy George. I've got an Android Samsung Galaxy phone, and I found a photograph that I felt epitomised David Bowie. How would he be instantly recognisable? Apart from his hair, he changed his image. He regenerated, didn't he? Apart from his different coloured eyes, what was it about him that you could look at that would be instantly recognisable that it was him? And the thing I liked about this one is his long neck, his hair. I mean, that colour blue, I couldn't resist wanting to colour that colour blue, but it was his stance. So as soon as you see the stance, just in the drawing before I put any colour down, it was, when I tested it with people, who's that drawing? They said, it's David Bowie. So I knew to proceed. To do the drawing, I use my sketch pencils with WHSmith. I use my Faber-Castell putty eraser. It's called something a bit more official than that. And I use the Tombow Mono Zero rubber. And I make lots of mistakes when I do drawings. It doesn't matter. It's a question of getting the proportions right. In this photograph that I found, the background wasn't brilliant, and I've taken some poetic license here because I wanted to do the reflection on his cheeks of red and green, and in the painting then there'd be no representation of, well, where's that colour from? There was nothing to imply that colour within the scene. So yeah, this is poetic license, as if there's lighting coming on his face, and that gives the halo effect around him then. So why did I choose for this one to do the Faber-Castell oil pastel pencils rather than Prismacolor? Well, the reason is I was itching to do them because they were new. It's as simple as that. But the thing about this one is vibrancy, and I really wanted to tackle the vibrancy of colour with the new pencils that I had. Things that I liked about this were, yes, the colour went down beautifully. They're creamy. I can get the colour down and layer and layer and layer. And I was able to do that, particularly around his face. For the skin tones in this one, I'm going to reference another YouTuber that I've not mentioned before. I had done swatches. Now, don't forget, David Bowie was really pale. And for this one, I've opted for this colour. And this is from a girl called Nina Blangstrup. I'll put her name below because it is an unusual name. Yeah, I needed to get the skin tone right, and then I've used a lot of Payne's Grey to get the shadows in. As I come down the microphone, if I turn it, you might just about manage to see the sheen. Well, I think that proves my point. I actually put quite a lot of silver down. I wanted that microphone stand to look chrome, and I don't think I've achieved it with these Faber-Castell. That is a fail to me, because I did it around the microphone here as well. So that's not brilliant. I think with multimedia work with this, I'd need to go into this with a gel pen, or perhaps even go over them with the Prismacolor, because that's not the effect I wanted achieved. I was happy with the colours I was getting here, and overall I was happy with the effect that I got. What I'm not happy with is the graininess. And I've spoken about this in the George Michael photograph, and I think that I needed to blend this. But I needed to blend this at an earlier point. I think when I was started doing his hair and his face, I needed to try using the Zest It blend. Now, Faber-Castell, being oil-based, recommend, as a company, they recommend using Terps or White Spirit. But I've got the Zest It lemon aroma blend, and I would see whether I could get a better blend on here so that it would actually go more into the tooth of the paper. You can't feel this, but as I'm pressing on it, I can feel that I have burnished all those layers. I couldn't really get any more colour into that suit now. and I certainly couldn't fill all those tiny holes in. Well, blending may just overcome that. If you get the opportunity, please come back and look at the video that I've recorded, the testing of blending on Daler Rowney paper, the smooth cartridge paper, which is this one, versus the Winsor & Newton Bristol board. It may be I've got the graininess on this because I chose the wrong paper to try it on. That might be my choice, and I made it wrong. Don't forget, I'm a novice at this. This is the first time I've used the Polychromos pencil. So this is the first time I've used an oil-based pencil. Having said that, overall, I was pleased with what I'd achieved there. I can critique it and say, I think this is not quite right, or I think next time I would have done something differently. But overall, I have to say, I'm quite pleased with that. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below what you think of that and what you would have done differently. I have found a beautiful photograph of David Bowie in his later years that I think maybe isn't the stage presence, but a photograph that fans might recognise of him. And I like that one. He's looking directly to camera. So rather than the stage image, I saw David Bowie when he was in Ziggy Stardust. I went with a friend to see him at the Hard Rock Cafe in Manchester. Yeah, I was a teen then. I was a teen way back then, and he was absolutely brilliant. So I've seen his different stage acts over the years, and I wanted to try and capture the man. So I may in the future do another David Bowie, the man, rather than the stage presence. And whether I choose to do him in Prismacolor or Faber-Castell, and which paper I choose to use for that, depends on what I learn in my experiments. But for now, I hope I've helped you with some of the decision making. I hope you've enjoyed listening to this video. George Michael is coming, and I will tell you that I'm doing him in Faber-Castell. Yeah, I'm not giving you a peek preview, but I will give you a clue. His face was more this orange colour at one point, and I thought, oh gosh, what have I done? How am I going to correct that? And I've had to learn how to correct it. I'm not sure whether I've actually achieved it yet, but I'll let you know when I'm happy to show you the result of that. So for now, this is Maggie, the Cheshire Crafter, saying bye for now. See you soon.